Testing.
Testing. You have to turn it on. You don't hear me? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you all doing in this nice warm weather? Okay. Okay. When it's time for you to talk, we'll handle it. We'll handle it. We'll handle it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much different from last week, isn't it? It was in the 50s and the 60s. So please don't complain. Precision was supposed to come out Friday. Today. They got tied up in another job. They were supposed to be here to turn on our system today, and they had something else. But just imagine that fan over there blowing directly in your face so you don't feel any heat, okay? But I am going to call the meeting to order at 7:09 p.m. This is a board meeting of the corporate authorities, and today is Tuesday, May 26th. I'm going to ask that everyone stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you turn this down just a little bit because I'm hearing all the vibration? And when it's time for the trustees to speak in, can you all do a mic check again?
Can you tell me your panel?
But it's a lot of vibration over here.
I'm talking about your panel. Can you turn yours up?
No, mine doesn't.
Awesome.
Testing.
Hello?
Yeah.
Testing. Mic check. Testing.
Testing. Testing.
Turn your button on. Turn the button on. Yes. Is this live? Yes. Testing. Testing.
Testing. Okay, come on over. Can you do it some more? Okay. Kirk, can you call the roll, please?
Testing.
Trustee Burns, absent. Trustee
Is that
Jones.
with or without the roll?
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Taisha Jones.
Here.
You told me to call you Taisha like that. Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Sapp is absent with notice. Trustee Sterling
Present.
and Dr. Winston, Trustee Dr. Winston.
Here.
Thank you. May I ask for the adoption of the agenda? Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, may I ask that if it's okay for us to move forward? All in favor? All in favor? I hear one aye.
Aye.
I hear two.
You got two fans going, so
Anyone else? Our vote is nays then. If so, then
Nay, because I know it's something.
Can you talk a little?
Nay.
You say nay?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Johnson? Nay. Thank you. It's a tie 2-2. I will break the tie and will move forward with the adoption of the agenda. May I ask Pastor Pitts to come and lead us in the meditation?
Testing. It's good? No?
Not really.
Testing.
Okay, next week we're going to do a mic check before the meeting starts. Go ahead, sir.
So it's good? All right. Can we stand just for a moment?
All questions and comments must be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter concerning the business of the Sauk Village municipality. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate, counter replies, or rebuttals. If I'm going to respond, I will respond directly after each commenter rather than waiting to the end. I am going to ask now that anyone that wishes to provide public comment to step to the mic now. I'm going to ask for the second time. Anyone who wishes to provide public comment to step to the mic now. Third and final time. Anyone that is going to give public comment, please step to the mic now. We will close public comment with the 2 gentlemen who are standing there now. Clerk, please.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. You got to speak very loud.
David Bill. trustee.
Again, Madam Mayor, as I was saying, I see you're not taking the residents serious because you got all of this on this agenda again, which means that it'll be 10:30, maybe 11 o'clock before we get out of here. I know it's a bunch of confusion about what goes on, what goes on, but you can't put everything on one agenda for one night. You know, some of us have 9 to 5. Some of us have 3 to 9s. That means we get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and stand up in here until 10, 11 o'clock at night. Just to try to abreast us with what's going on in this village. It's not fair. Then, there's a lot of talk going on right now about this CD. And who authorized this CD to be moved? Where them signatures came from. I can recall last week, you know, Madam Mayor said she didn't, Clerk said she didn't. So I'm just curious on how this got moved. And I know one thing as a fact, banks float money. They float money. Banks are in the banking business to make money. They are not fun of moving $1 million from one place to another because they're losing their interest on that. So, I'm gathering there's going to be some type of explanation tonight about this. I'm gathering, you know. I just want to be known that these lies that's going to come forward, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up and realize what's going on in this village. It ain't going to be too much longer. It's going to go from being Sauk Village to Broke Village. At the way this thing is going. Madam Mayor, I told you last week, I said, when this hammer come down, it's going to come down on you. Because all the blame is going to be put on you because you are the mayor. And the other party is not going to be willing to take the responsibility. Because I wouldn't go to jail for nobody neither. I wouldn't. I would point the finger dead at the person that's sitting at the top. So, get ready. Get ready. Everybody sitting here today, get ready. Because it's coming.
David Smith, Revenant. A couple weeks ago, I had to come before the board and state for the record, since nobody else made the announcement, that the village phones were off. Today, I'm back before the board again to ask, why is the village website up? Why haven't we paid for the domain name? That just seems lackadaisical and incompetent. Question, who monitors upcoming payments like that to make sure that bills, whether they're annual, biannual, every 6 months, that they're paid and tracked and taken care of so that we don't forget about stuff like that? The Delgado Law Group. I'm glad to see they're on accounts payable, but my question is, was it working? Trustee Johnson asked about almost a month and a half ago to get them paid. She sent court documents supporting the fact that they did work for the village to the finance director and to, I believe, some other people in the village. It took a month and a half for you guys to verify that stuff, and that's the reason why accounts payable has been tabled for the last few weeks. Was it working when you still ended up having to pay them anyway? With the little money that you saved from getting a $210 an hour cut to $200 an hour, was that little bit of money worth all of these other bills that piled up and possibly could have got late fees? Now, with the CD, major question, the elephant in the room. Who signed off on it? My understanding is that it takes 2 signatures to withdraw money on behalf of the village. Which 2 village officials officially signed off on withdrawing and or transferring at least $1 million from that account? Which, according to the finance director a couple of weeks ago, he said it was $1.2 million. My issue with that is that his presentation lacked any specific detail. He was asked about a maturity or expiration date. He he said the 15th or possibly the end of the month. He had no accurate interest rates to go off of, and I know you're going to say, well, they change day to day, but give us some sort of a real estimate. And the fact that the $1.2 million allegedly is no longer $1.2 million, my final question about the CD is, what was the exact amount that was withdrawn out of the CD account? Because the finance director said it was $1.2 million just a couple weeks ago. How much was actually withdrawn? And if there's a difference, why is that? Now, regarding the IT, what was the criteria for the selection process of the evaluation team? Were any trustees involved? I understand you don't have to name names. I get the process. But what was the criteria about? Was anybody familiar with IT in any way, shape, or form? Because it seems kind of crazy to me that you would have a bunch of people that don't know anything about IT involved in that selection process if they're not elected officials. Why was the board bypassed in that selection process? Because they were here and they voted against Altec, didn't they? Which I hope you guys do.
Thank you. We're moving on to reports of officers.
No answers.
And
No answers.
I can't hold this in. We brought before the board a couple of weeks ago, bid opening for the lawn maintenance service, and it was tabled. So I am we followed the suggestions of the trustees. We sent it out to bid again, and today was the final day. And I will be opening 2 bids today. I believe that the clerk provided you a document that's on your dais that looks like this document right here. Trustee Jones, this is what I'm drawing your attention to at this point. As I am opening, I'm going to ask that you write the bidder's name. If they have insurance for the amount that you noticed, if the W-9 is there, if they have an indemnity policy, and if they agree to the $35 per house. Keep in mind that $35 per house is not just for the front yard anymore. We're asking them to do the front and the rear of the property, and then you determine whether or not the proposal is complete. First bidder is DJ Remodeling. DJ. D is in David. J is in Jackson. Their operation is in Campbell-Pruitt, Illinois. And they say that is their business, grass cutting maintenance. On this second page of the application, it's basically saying that the hours of operation is 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. The next part is the official request for bids, residential mowing services. It asks for the mandatory contractor qualifications, village business license, that they have insurance for $1 million, tax documentation, a completed and signed IRS W-9, It talks about the scope of work and service schedule. These are the things that we ask them to provide, okay? We also ask that they provide a report of every property that they cut every 2 weeks. Security. The village will provide a list of the homes to the contractors, and I mentioned the standard cut. If it's initial excessive growth, then we will be paying $45 just for that initial cut. We talk about the strict invoicing payment terms. They must submit by Sunday of the week that the grass was cut. If they were in non-compliance, payment will be refused. In their packet also, they provide the certificate of liability insurance. So you would want to check that. We know that they have the insurance for the required amount that we asked for. It does. They have their W-9 form. They have the license and bonded information. And they did not mention the payment amount because we stipulated what we would be paying. So there was really no need for them to tell us what. By virtue of the fact that they submitted this, then they will be in agreement. The next one is the existing company that we have. Laurel Forest Lawn Care. Laurel, L-A-R-R-E-L-L. I have to open this. I can't use the mic, okay? Let me just open this and I'll pick the mic up. Thank you. Give me a minute. The items that we requested before are the same. I'll read to you now what's in their proposal. He wrote a letter. He talked about the scope of the services, that they will provide the following services: routine grass mowing of village vacant properties, lawn edging along sidewalks, curbs, walkways, and parking areas, trimming around fences, signs, trees, and structures, removal of grass cutting and debris for a clean finish, scheduled maintenance to ensure uniform appearance across all locations. They provide their experience and references, and the references are other towns for which they operate in. The pricing is in accord with what we stated, the $35 per cut. They state that the invoices will be submitted weekly, no later than the Sunday as stipulated. And if any property is found to be unsecured or possesses a safety issue, village officials will be notified immediately. They also provided a commitment of service saying that they take pride in their work. They included in their proposal their certificate of liability insurance for $200,000, which is over and above what we requested. Then they have the continuation of the certificate, power of attorney, and the hold harmless agreement. All of that is in the packet. No win. I'm sorry. And that's their packet.
They had to W-9 also, right?
Yes. W-9 is located in their proposal. So those are the two bidders. I'm going to ask that you continue to hold on to your documentation based on what I've read. We are going to invite one trustee who would like to serve on the evaluation team as you go through it, to kindly let us know by tomorrow morning. Okay? If you're interested in reading through the entire evaluation and rating them, please let me know. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I don't think that it was one of the items on the scope, but it would have been nice to actually know what the hours are. Okay? The second one is not necessarily a bid opening, because we just asked for a request for qualifications. And I'm going to ask Interim Village Administrator Finch to walk us through that for the Economic Development Consultants.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, residents. So the request for qualification for economic development, it has been stated numerous times over the last year that we can't bring projects into the village unless there's an economic development consultant. Last year we had a company that worked with Sauk Village Development Authority, and since that time we haven't found another person to come on as an employee or as a consultant. So we went out for a request for qualification to specifically look for individual companies or individuals that have experiences working with municipalities like Sauk Village. So what you have in front of you is the requirement that we asked them to have, which mainly include references that they have worked in municipalities before and also worked in communities like Sauk Village. In addition to that, we asked them to give us a 120-day plan on what they're going to do for Sauk Village. Because what we did not want to do is just pay a consultant firm every month without a plan of action on what they're going to do going forward. So that's what you have in your packet. You should have the...
that was not closed. Do you have, is this it here?
That's the only company that submitted a proposal.
Do the trustees have a copy of this in their packet?
I believe. So no, that was should have been sent in an email. The qualification should have been sent in an email. Not that particular company, but no.
Say that again, please.
The request for qualification should have been sent via email last week, but that particular company that submitted a qualification, they do not have that in their bid packet. I mean their agenda packet.
I'm going to ask for consideration that we bring this back. This is too extensive to read through. I thought that it would have been in the meeting packet.
Yes.
Okay? So I would say that there's lack of readiness to go through this at this point. But I don't want to make that determination by myself. What say you?
A motion to table.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion to table and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. This will be tabled to the next meeting. I have on the agenda again, we're revisiting the appointment for the commissioner for the Fire and Police Commission. The individual is not here, and I ask that he not attend because he can be appointed as a commissioner, but his term will start once he is issued the oath of office. I think that we have to be understanding and compassionate about individuals who's willing to serve as commissioners or for any matter, any way for that matter. And to have people who bring their loved ones, their family, their grandchildren, their friends, thinking that they're going to be sworn in and they're not, it becomes very hurtful, and I would not want to subject people to that anymore. But I am going to ask for consideration to appoint the same person that I had mentioned as commissioner before, and that is Jeff Morden. I shared with you before, he's a current commissioner with the Metropolitan Water Department right now. He's a former trustee of the village of Sauk Village. I'm not certain which committee he commanded when he was a trustee here. However, he is very dedicated to the village of Sauk Village, and I think that he would be an asset. Yes, Trustee Johnson.
At the last meeting, we tabled it and we asked that we had to discuss this with you. We have not had the opportunity yet to discuss it with you. So that's what we're waiting on, to discuss these table items with you.
Does everything that we discuss, and I know that it's not because we do so much discussion through email, is that something though that we could have discussed through email as we do so many other things, Trustee Johnson?
I would say no, because my emails are not getting answered, so that's going to be a no for me. But I would like to table this again so we can have a discussion as a whole board along with you, Mayor.
I'm going to ask the other trustees, do you have, is everything okay?
I'll second.
I have a motion on the floor to table and a second. All in favor? Aye.
So, Mayor, I got a question.
I'm sorry, we're still in the midst of the vote. Please let me finish, okay? Thank you. I heard two people.
We said,
There's a nay. Thank you. I'm going to ask for a formal roll call. Please, let's vote again, please.
for the table. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. May we move forward? I'm looking at you to acknowledge you.
Okay. So after that vote, do you know when we can come as a board to discuss these items with you?
We will discuss it at the next committee of the whole meeting.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, that's that part of it. But I want to say to each and every one of you who joined us yesterday and those who had the desire but just could not join us yesterday for our Memorial Day celebration. It was a wonderful event, and I invite you to go on the Sauk Village Facebook e-news page. We had several people who took pictures, and I just saved them all, and I posted all of the pictures that were shared with me. You will see that our veterans that attended this time, they invited all of their family and friends. We had more youth with us yesterday than ever before, and that piece was very, very, very near and dear, simply because our people are not going into the service as they once did. So there's a lot of instances where some of our youth don't even know anyone who's ever been in the service, who ever went to the service to serve. So for them to be acknowledged yesterday in front of those young ones, it was truly, truly amazing. And we had a wonderful brunch afterwards in the senior center. And as I said, I want to thank all of our trustees and elected officials who attended. Our chiefs, police chief and fire chief, they were staunch citizens, highly representing the village of Sauk Village. Thank you so very much for your presence as well, and that of your staff. You guys were remarkable. And they were all wonderful dress attire, weren't they, Sharp? As warm as it was, but they did not break a sweat at all. I think that concludes my report. We'll move on to clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, the Memorial Day event was beautiful and very well attended. I was glad to be able to be there. And thank you to all the men and women who served and all the families who gave up their time for their people to be able to serve. Also, I'd like to tell you that the blood drive was not very well attended. It'll probably be the last blood drive that we have. We have not been getting our numbers, and it costs a lot of money to hold a blood drive. There's a lot of costs and expenses that come with the blood drive. So unfortunately, this may be the last blood drive that Sauk Village will be able to hold, which is very disappointing to me, but I tried. Second of all, there was no Sauk Talk in May because there were no articles submitted of any content. Not enough to put a Sauk Talk together. So that matter, there was no Sauk Talk. I asked for Sauk Talk articles for last Friday. There are no articles again. So it seems like we've lost a little bit of enthusiasm over the Sauk Talk. And again, all I can do is put it out there. It's disappointing, but this is the only way we have to communicate with our residents is through the Sauk Talk, which goes on the website, which almost every resident has access to, either through in their home, through the library, or through other places. So again, this is very disappointing, but I can only do what's put out there. So you heard earlier that the website is down. For whatever reason, we're trying to work on getting that back up again. So I could not post the agenda on the website, but the main thing is that it gets posted on the doors by Sunday night before the meeting. So if you could go to the website, you don't see the agenda, you can always come to the Village Hall and you can see it on both doors. And finally, I want to make a mention that last week I sent out a series of emails with pertinent information from the past. Since we have new trustees and a new attorney, and we're dealing with a lot of litigation that the new trustees and the attorney are unfamiliar with, since I'm the clerk, I cannot openly speak on topics when it hits the table. So as a matter of being open and transparent with the people who have to make the decisions for our residents, I forwarded a lot of pertinent information about the things that have been said and done, and the ordinances and minutes and things like that. Yeah, there were some really tricky times right there, but I may have gotten accused of stirring the pot. And that was not my intention. That pot was stirred, the food was burnt, and the stove was unrecognizable before this board ever came on here. The intent is not to stir the pot, but to make people aware of the past that the future now has to deal with. So please, and I did forward the email from the person who sent it to me, not to be messy, but because I'm the clerk. And I'm oftentimes accused of keeping things from trustees and other board members and staff members, which I do not do. My rule of thumb is if I get an email, I share it with my board, my entire board. Now everybody might not do that, but as a matter of open and transparent government, that's what I do. So I'm putting the trustees on notice. When you send me an email, if you do not want me to share that email, tell me, do not share this email. And yes, sometimes you do say, please share it. But oftentimes it's not. Like Trustee Johnson's not getting her emails. There were several emails that didn't get communicated last week. We're also having problems with our emails. So nobody's at fault here. But most important thing that you can do, I'd rather have too much communication than not enough. That's the way I roll. So if anybody has a problem with me making my board aware of the things that happened in the past 12 years, I sat here, I went through the fight. And I know the litigation that we're doing right now is a result of a lot of things that I was on the board when it happened. So that's all I have to say to my trustees. Communicate with me, I communicate with you, and I will never hold anything against either one of you. I'll never hold a promise. Thank you, that's my report.
Thank you. I have a couple of follow-up questions for you regarding the blood drive. The executive director of the company that you use, she's one of my sorority sisters, and I gave you her information. Were you guys in communication?
I work with someone at Adversity hand in hand, and he did communicate with her. There was communication. There was no resolution to the communication, and my blood drives are like a quarterly event. There was no continuity between the two of us.
I'm sorry that I didn't know, so that I couldn't have been to
Yeah,
you.
so I work with them.
Okay, let me finish.
Okay.
Let's try one more time with her offer to assist the village of Sauk Village. Not an intermediary individual. Let's communicate directly with her because you have her information.
But Mayor, it's not my choice whether or not to have one. It's Adversity's choice.
I
Yes.
know, so maybe she will give us a pass.
Okay.
Because of her position.
Okay.
Maybe she will. There was just lack of communication, and maybe we can move forward with that. In terms of the emails that you just talked about, a lot of times you could be moved with what's normal practice, whether it's written or not written. Past practice has always been, if a trustee, one of the village's trustees, want information shared with the other trustees and or administrators, they would ask that you share it. It's not for them typically to avoid OMA violations. We generally see, please do not reply all to this, but it's not for the Village of Sauk Village trustees to ask not to share information. They typically will ask that it's shared if they want to. Now that's something though that we can discuss. If we need to discuss it at the next committee meeting, we will, but this is not necessarily the time, but I'm just going to say, until we come up with something definitive, I'm going to ask that the clerk only share information that the Village of Sauk Village trustees ask to be shared. Everything don't have to be shared. I mean, I love transparency. I love transparency. I love accountability as well. And if it's going to cause unrest, because all of a sudden, out of no place, everybody's emails are shared, whereas it hasn't been in the past, I would rather us not deal with anything that's going to cause us any more friction, because we know it doesn't take very much. So let's just wait until we can all agree on how we will
First of all,
proceed.
may I respond to that? The former clerk, yourself, did not take direction from the board on how she did her job. You did your job. I have been in this position for a long time. I have been accused of keeping information from people, which I do not. I have been accused of not sharing information, which I do. So I think I should be able to do my job as I see fit. And if I want to share information from the past 9, 10, 11 years that I think that can be pertinent to my board when they're making decisions about very important situations, I would like to put this on the agenda and have all the trustees tell me how they want me to handle this, because I do not ever want to be accused of keeping anything from anybody. And the fact that I was told that I was stirring the pot simply because I was sharing information with the entire board, I took offense at that.
And I'm sorry that you took offense, but I think that we're talking two different things. I guess we are. I think what we're talking about, share historical data, share historical perspectives of what took place in the village. That's different than sharing someone's email that they sent to you. There's a difference. It may be a fine line, but there's a difference, and let's just keep that in perspective, and I will put that on the agenda.
Thank you.
Trustees, if you think that it merits being on the committee of the whole.
I think that we should discuss that.
Okay, I can hear you.
I would like for it to go on the agenda.
Thank you.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And the reason I'm asking is, if you're not going to be willing to talk about something, there's no need to put it on the agenda. So that's how I'm trying to get the pulse of what your desires are. Okay? Thank you. Okay, moving on. Legal counsel, do you have anything for us this evening? Hey.
I do not have a report. My question to the board is, are we still going into executive session to discuss pending matters?
To discuss?
Pending litigation.
You know, was that communicated?
The last meeting, I was told to prepare some items, yes.
We said to prepare, but I don't think that we necessarily said that you needed to come back with it now. Is it something that's urgent and pending?
I would say 3 of the matters. But it's certainly up to you all to study.
Will it work? Can it wait till next week at the committee of the whole meeting? We have executive session on there as well.
It can, but I think given the delays, it's better to kind of do it.
Okay, just going forward, please communicate that with me in advance, okay? Thank you. Because generally you do, but this time, maybe it was the holiday, whatever, and it didn't get communicated. But thank you.
Mayor, I have a
Yes.
question for you.
Yes.
Attorney, did you get the documentation about our village CD yet? Our village CD. Do you know the situation with our village CD currently? Mayor, is there any way that our attorney can get up to date with our CD?
Not at this moment. We will discuss it in executive session. We're going to go to executive session, but then who knows?
How can we discuss
Wait,
that?
But we have
And it's
two.
finances. We can't.
Excuse me.
Excuse
You
me.
asked me a question. I'm trying to answer. We have 2 individuals who will be bringing reports this evening, and it's quite likely they can shed some light on it. So let's just move on and make certain that when it's time for them to talk, they're the ones that would have the information. So let's let them give their report, and then you can post whatever question that you would have. Let's move on. Village engineer Melanie.
Good evening, Mayor, Madam Mayor, Madam Clerk, Board of Trustees. Can you hear me okay? I will try to talk loud. Can you hear me now? Okay. I just have one quick comment or one quick piece to discuss, and that is to let you know that additional concrete work on Clyde Avenue between 215th Place and 218th Place is currently scheduled by the Build-Up Cook contractor for the week of July 6th. This schedule may be moved up based on the contractor's availability. There were 3 tree removals associated with this work, and those are expected to occur sometime in mid-June. I will work with the county to ensure as much advance notice is given to the affected residents as possible. And that concludes my report. Yes, and I apologize. I tried to email it, but I will email that to you. Yes, tonight.
Thank you. We're moving to reports of administrative staff. Testing. We will start with Interim Finance Director Fred McMillan. Can you please direct us to... Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote over it, that's right. I'm sorry. Interim Village Administrator Anthony Finch. Can you direct us also where in the agenda packet will you be referencing?
In the agenda package, Mayor, Board, and residents, there's a form called Executive Cash Flow Summary -June 2026. This is a summary that I put together of the current financial situation as relates to cash for the village, as well as information tied to the CD. There's no need for me really to go through all this because I think everyone is capable of reading it. But I do want to address that I replied back to one of the trustees who had 21 questions concerning the CD. I sent that reply back to the mayor, to the clerk. So the board of trustees, as well as the mayor, should have that email referencing the 21 questions related to the CD. But let me address a few things with the CD. The term restricted is an accounting term, meaning that this amount of money will be allocated for certain things. It does not need board approval to authorize, quote unquote, a restricted amount of money. For instance, when we get motor fuel tax from the state, we never ever come to the board and ask for permission to put it in a motor fuel tax account. Now conversely, on the state level, which we're going through right now via potential lawsuit, when we don't put it in a restricted motor fuel bank account, we get penalized. That is referenced in part of my report. So the cash flow is something that I think the residents sometimes do not understand how municipality works. The board of trustees sometimes do not understand how cash flow works. But if you guys recall last year about this time, we was in the same situation. We had roughly $1 million in unpaid bills. Now we have roughly $1.7 million in total bills. Throughout the year, we have paid a lot of bills from 2024 and previous years. There was a reference to a particular attorney law firm. One of the reasons it took a month to go through that invoice or procedure that we do on the operations side is because we don't just pay a bill because someone said pay a bill. What was told to the Board of Trustees that attorney, along with 2 other attorneys, we also was investigating. One particular law firm, they are under agent report for roughly $50,000. They was authorized work at $780 per hour. One of the duties that myself and the finance director is charged to, as one of the trustees have mentioned, is to follow process and procedures and ordinances. Our ordinances states attorney bills are $200 per hour. So whether it's $210 an hour or $780 per hour, if that bill was authorized, it's for us to ask why and who authorized it. It's not an attempt not to pay the bill, it's an attempt to not waste taxpayer money. So I want to make sure that it's clear. We're not trying to hold tax invoices from attorneys. And they cannot, unless they go to court, cannot hold our money in the bank unless they go through a judge and file a lawsuit, which none of these attorneys who has been over a year without payment has ever come to us and stated that. One of the things that was talked about, we're not paying our bills. Tonight, the Board of Trustees is going to have an opportunity to pay $1.7 million. That will bring all of our bills to zero that we currently have in the system. But doing that might not be the wisest decision, because in the memo that I provided, we only have $2.5 million of liquid cash. So one of the options that I gave the board is to leave roughly a little bit over $1 million in an account at the same bank and allow us to virtually use it for operating cash, or tie it up in another CD. The challenge we're going to face is we no longer have the line of credit, which the village has used since 2019. The purpose of the line of credit was to get us through rough times. If you remember, back in early this year, late last year, Cook County delayed paying property taxes. If you follow the income stream of municipalities, we get the bulk of our property taxes in March or October. Until Cook County get back on the steady flow of paying property taxes on a regular basis, we don't have an idea of when and how much property taxes come in. So the prudent thing to do is make sure we have a liquid cash to handle our payroll, which is roughly $200,000 every 2 weeks, and our accounts payable, which is roughly $400,000 every 2 weeks. So in a given month, minimum, we are paying $1.4 million in expenses. So as the board decide later on tonight to vote on accounts payable, I asked them that they keep in mind cash flow. And I've said this many times. Most households do not have every bill in their household at zero at the end of 30 days. Unless you got like an Amex card that got to be paid every 30 days. So most households, because of how they get paid, they manage what they pay when they pay. I'm asking the Board of Trustees, continue to let us do our job as financial fiduciary, myself and public work director. And then if you have questions about invoices, feel free to come in our office, look at the invoice, and let us explain to you why we're not paying certain invoices. With that, I'll take any questions.
Mayor, my question is to you. In this document, it states, it appears the board wishes to execute. The board didn't make any decisions. He made the decision, and we don't approve of that. Right on paragraph 2, the board proposal to pay. He can't put that in no documents, ma'am. Can you show the mayor, please? He's the interim village administrator. He don't make decisions on behalf of this board. Well, I'm not being hostile. But you should have been read this before he put this out to the board.
I just saw it.
Well, why are we even discussing this if you're just now saying it, Mayor? Because this is all wrong. He want to break our city's already broke. He want to spend it.
May I address that, Mayor?
Sir, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the mayor.
I'm talking to the mayor myself.
Well, then don't talk off the mic, sir, because I got the floor right now.
Go ahead, finish.
I have the floor right now. I'm waiting on our mayor to review the document so she can have a discussion. Thank you very much. Learn your place. Learn your place. Learn your place. This is the board, and you have to answer to
I answer to the residents.
Well, get your interim village administrator. Tell him to learn his place. His name is interim for me. Where's the mayor? Talk to him.
I'm talking to both of you.
No, you're not talking to me, because I'm your board.
So, because you're my
Yes, I'm your board. I'm the one that brought this to your attention. When he should have brought this document to your attention ahead of time.
Don't let them get you upset again, okay?
Yeah, okay. I will continue to get him upset as long as he's doing stuff that's unapproved of this board.
I said, Mrs.
Okay.
Jones, okay? Please.
That's why it's still interim, huh?
Ms. Jones.
That's why he's still interim.
I've been telling y'all.
Excuse me, audience. On both sides of the room. I'm going to ask for decorum. Thank you. Under number 2, Mr. Finch.
Yes. So,
I'm sorry, I didn't ask the question.
that's,
I'm trying to phrase it. Can you tell us how you got to the statement, the board's proposal to pay?
yes. So on the agenda, it says, authorize the board to approve a dollar amount. This 1.7 is the dollar amount that the board can be asked to approve tonight. If you go below, it said, it appears the board wishes to execute a massive cash outlay of $1.7 million. That would cover the current and past due bill. Because this board has said, we do not pay our bills. The residents have said, we do not pay our bills. So to pay our bill, this is all the aging items, this is all the current items. So if they are saying we are not paying the bills, and this is all our bills, then yes, 1.7 is what they've been asked to pay, and if they want to amend it, they can amend the accounts payable. They can amend the accounts payable. But this is all the bills, so that no one can say we're not paying our bills. You can't have it both ways. On one hand, say we're not paying bills, and then when you have all the bills in front of you, we just heard we didn't pay a law firm for 2 months. But now that law firm, other bills on there that haven't been paid in over a year, they're also on there. So this is the decision.
So really what you're saying, this is what I think that I hear you saying, sir. And that is, number 2, prefaces to scenarios that will be presented to the board later on in terms of a motion?
Yes, there's 2 scenarios. The total bill for aging report is 1.7. I gave an example of scenario 1, and I gave an example of scenario 2. If the board is saying they control the purse string, I'm giving them an option. If they don't want to pay the 1.7, they can decide, like has been done in the past, which invoices they do not want to pay. But then they cannot come back and say the board, the administration, interim village administrator is not paying their bill, because now they have an opportunity to pay whichever bills they choose to pay.
So they're going to be asked a little later to decide which one when it's time to approve accounts payable?
Yes, they had this packet over 2 days.
Thank you. Trustee Jones?
I'm trying to figure out why is it you're steady saying that we don't pay the bills. When we got sworn in April 28th, 2025, we tabled the accounts payable May 2026. Every payment has gotten paid. So why is that steady being brought up? My main concern, you used an example about the motor fuel. The motor fuel, as far as an example of, you shouldn't have to come to the board, but when you have to come to the board and you're giving us, the agreement is up, and we have to vote on it, that right there puts us in a situation. We should be notified about everything. As a trustee, that's a part of our job. So the disrespect right here that I am hearing, can you please get that straight? Because you can't tell them, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know what conversation that has been had, but we need to know about everything. When it comes to these agreements, these contracts ending, you know, we need to have an update. We find out everything along with the public. So all the naysays and, oh, they not paying, nothing has gotten paid now. We have approved everything. And it's a shame that we have to constantly sit through this mess every week.
How many times have we referenced 2 financial documents and we've discussed them? One is the financial policy and procedures, and the other one is a procurement. We've discussed it at least 2 or 3 times, which would entertain the question that you just asked. However, we have never adopted either one of them because of lack of readiness to actually discuss and to give feedback from all of the trustees, the contents of those. So I think that it would be just a little unfair to say that you're not given the opportunity. You've had both documents now for at least 3 to 4 to 6 months to go through, look at what it say. If you needed something, wanted something changed, a policy, a process change, you had the opportunity to share with those individuals.
Okay, you said,
please don't talk while I'm talking.
okay, but you're giving this long lecture, and what I'm
you're asking
for
me
is
a
that
question,
we need an update. We shouldn't find out with the residents. We shouldn't find out at the board.
Sound like another mayor. You know,
I'm not
I am tired of you guys talking over. That is disrespectful.
You're disrespecting me. I'm tired of that too.
Okay, time.
That's what we're asking. We don't need to find out with the residents. We need to know beforehand. That's all I'm asking.
Trustee.
Yes. Yes. So, Mr. Finch, you were talking about the MFT funds and other restricted funds. I understand that part. But I think the main question was about the balance for the CD. And the problem came in is that when you said that it was moved to a restricted account, that's threw up kind of flags to everybody. We were not given the information. I didn't receive the 21 answers to the 21 questions in the email. I think we were having troubles with emails today, so I did not receive that. But the main question is that, the main thing is that we did not receive information about why the CD was moved. I think that's a legitimate question that we have as the trustees, because that's something that we need to know. So if you're saying that you're moving over $1 million something, hey, you gotta let us know something.
And I agree with you, trustee, and that is an appropriate question. The CD is still at the same bank account. What happened was it expired. When it expired, we had 2 options. Leave it at the bank or bring it to Village Hall. As simple as that. Naturally, you're not going to want to bring over $1 million to Village Hall to put it in that safe back there. So the right thing to do was leave it at the bank. There's an account that's been in the bank probably since 2018, if not older than that. The money was put in that account, so it wasn't commingled with the general fund account. It wasn't commingled with the water fund account. It was put separately, so at any given time, which the clerk has a copy of the actual bank statement, because it's not intermediate, that you can see the money getting deposited in that account, and the only thing you'll see in that particular account is interest. So it was not moved, it was kept at the same bank that all the money, most of our money is kept in.
But do you understand what your language was? What your language was? You had in the email. You put flags up at us because all we're thinking about is $1 million has been moved, you haven't spoken to us about it. We had no knowledge of what restricted fund. When we're thinking, I'll speak for myself, when I'm thinking restricted fund, I'm thinking you move it to the water fund or MFT fund. But see, now you're explaining, saying that you moved it to, when you did move it, it's still at the bank, you're saying?
Yes.
And is that in like an interest,
No.
like bank? I mean, an interest like account?
Most of the accounts, like the water account, the general fund account, it has like a .0002 interest. So it's not accumulating any interest. Because if you go back a few weeks ago, there was communication about 3 or 4 options. I know one trustee asked about putting it in a 3-year CD,
Yes.
which is definitely unheard of in a municipality, especially in the situation we're in. My incorrect assumption was because we deal with restricted funds, especially with our senior trustees, that's been a report for years. It said funds available, restricted. There's a restricted quote-unquote fund for the police tow account. We can access it, but what we did in years historical past was allow the police department to say, you know what, this money in here, I want to use it by bulletproof vest, which was an argument about 2 months ago when one of the trustees said, matter of fact, I'll put them on the spot again, the police department, well, they need to pay for their heating unit out of their funds. So that's all a restricted fund. It wasn't saying we can't touch it. A CD is what is restricted, meaning in that we got a time period that if we break it, we're gonna pay a penalty on it. When I reference restricted, I just said it goes into this account, and I should have maybe explained it
Yes,
more,
I think
that the board will decide, we're gonna do 3 years, 3 months, 6 months, or a year to lock it up. And that's what it was.
Because that was what the conversation was, is that we were going to come back to discuss if we was going to renew it for the 1 year.
And see, nobody emailed me those questions.
No, this was at one of the committee
Right,
meetings.
and that's what I'm saying.
Is it possible, is it needed that this may be another item for the committee of the whole, simply because board meetings are really
Yes.
to conduct the business by taking the motions and approving. It's not for this lengthy discussion that's taking place, but I do want everyone's voice to be heard, and I would want that by the time we bring it to the table at a board meeting, we basically know what and how we feel about it, and that you are well informed. I'm going to entertain 2 more questions, and then from there, we will ask Anthony Finch to continue on with the other part of his report if he has anything, and then move on. But Trustee Johnson,
Mayor, I asked
I
you
had my
last
hand
week.
raised. That's-
no, she was first. Trustee, she was first.
Okay.
I asked you last week for us to discuss this CD before it got out of hand in this extent. So, therefore, what he's asking for, like he's saying, is to pull from that CD in order for it to be on our accounts payable. It's a mixture of paying
Now,
our
it will
accounts
not
payable.
be on the accounts payable.
That's what I was
Not
questioning.
tonight.
Because my
It
question
will
is,
not.
what is in our general fund? How much do we have in our general fund? Will we be able to cover all of our amount for tonight to pay payroll without even touching the amount in our CD?
We won't be touching the monies in the CD ever, really.
Did you read it?
I did, but let's postpone that also. As I said, by the time you vote, I need you, all of us, to be well versed in what we're doing, and we can't do it right now at this board meeting. So whatever we have to do, we'll move forward.
So I'm motion to table this discussion of the cash flow until the committee of the whole meeting.
That's not needed. I have already said that we were going to do.
We need to vote on it, Mayor, so
No,
I can
you
make
don't.
sure it's going to be on the
That's okay.
agenda for
Trustee Jones,
next week.
please move forward.
So do I have a second on the
Second.
floor? Thank you. Clerk,
You cannot ask the clerk to call.
I called the motion, I got a second from Trustee Jones, so there's a motion on the floor. I did it in the beginning of the meeting, it wasn't a problem, so now all of a sudden I'm talking about finances is a problem when I call the motion on the floor. Make up your mind, Mayor. So Debbie, I'm sorry, clerk, can you please call a roll?
You cannot ask.
It's a motion on the floor already with a second.
You're out of order.
Well,
You are
well
out
then pick it up,
of
right, so you can get back in order.
You're out of order, trustee.
But it's a motion on the
Acknowledge.
floor.
Okay, but you're still out
And
of
it's a
order.
second.
You're out of
We
order.
waiting on you, Mayor.
Okay.
There's
It's not an agenda item.
It's a discussion item, so it should be motion.
Trustee Jones, do you have anything that you had your hand raised?
She's checking the motion. I'm still waiting to hear about the motion. That's on the floor. Attorney, I called for a motion. Trustee Jones seconded, and now the roll call is not being called.
Is the motion?
The motion is to table this document for further discussion until the committee of the whole. And I did that in order to secure that she's gonna put this on the committee of the whole. Because I questioned this last week and it wasn't discussed.
This item is not on the agenda.
I wanna put it on the agenda for next
It's
week's
not
discussion.
on the
So we're
current
tabling it.
agenda in order for it to be tabled. There is
Attorney,
no
I'm
motion
tabling it because the
on
wording in
it.
this
I'm
document,
giving you.
it's saying that our accounts payable tonight
It's
will be
not
taking
procedure.
that amount tonight out of our accounts payable. That's why I asked you, did you have this document?
If I may,
It's not.
the mayor
It's
is
either that or we're gonna table accounts payable tonight.
The mayor is correct. If it's not an agenda item, it's not proper to make.
And
a
I
motion.
understand that, but this document and how he spoke in this document is speaking for the board. And it's verified of what our accounts payable will be paying out tonight. We're not agreeing to this, or either it's gonna get tabled tonight for accounts payable. Would you like to see the document?
I'm just asking a legal question.
Would you
The
like
motion
to
is
see
not
the
proper.
document?
That's all I'm asking.
It's not a motion.
Would you like to see the document?
It's not
The
proper.
motion is not.
Well, I guess, boy, we're gonna have to take the
There's
accounts
no
payable tonight.
action item that
That's why it
deals
pays
with
to learn how
this.
to read and understand, board members.
And I think that you need to.
Well, you
This
should
was
never
part
put
of
these
his
words in here about
This
tonight's
was part
account
of his
payable.
report. Okay. Okay.
Mayor, let me say something. There's
Here we go.
2.5
And
million.
buzz.
No.
No, she said about the document. There's
Here we go.
2.5 million in available
You
cash
asked this board in this
outside of
document
the cash.
saying that it's out of our,
I think
we're gonna
that
be paying this tonight. We're not doing that.
you are really out of order, trustee.
Yes, I am, Mayor.
Thank you.
Because you need to take
please
control.
acknowledge, I'm trying it, and you
Well,
won't.
then
let
your
me
accounts
just-
payable,
you
ma'am,
just
is gonna
keep
get
on
tabled tonight.
Lady, it's not mine, it's ours, okay?
Well, if it's ours, then we should be making decisions correctly.
And
reading
that's
documents.
all I'm asking you to do.
This is affecting our accounts
you
payable for
table
tonight.
Somebody's report, trustee, that's all I'm saying.
What I'm saying to you is
part
this
of
document
his report.
It's a reflection of our accounts payable for tonight.
Clerk. It's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda, so it's not a question.
Exactly, it's not a question, so we can't call the question to close the debate. The problem is, it doesn't need to be tabled. It's not an agenda item. She wants this agenda item to go to move forward. So which of these rules for debate do we use in this particular instance?
If she wants it, she just put it on a future agenda.
And discussion could stop at this point and carry on to the committee meeting, correct?
Correct.
So can we all, Mayor,
Well,
agree?
baby, that's what I
Baby.
asked for, yes.
I know,
That's what
baby, I'm
asked
just trying to get moving.
That's what I asked for, so we really did not need your confirmation either, okay? I know, baby, all of us are just.
Dysfunctional.
Okay. No, there's no roll to call. We will have this on the agenda for the upcoming committee of the whole meeting. We will discuss specifically the CD. Is there anything else relative to that report that you would want on the agenda? Please let me know that now. Yes, ma'am.
My concern is the $1 million of the village money was moved forward without informing the board beforehand. as trustees the responsibility to oversee the village finances. I would like to know why the board was not notified prior to the transfer, who transferred it, and what process was followed.
We will discuss all of that on Tuesday.
For the record, I am asking, Mr. Finch?
No, you do not get to call. People, you guys got to learn your Robert Rules of Order and
Okay,
parliamentary
so I'm asking
procedure.
for the bank to release, for the bank's release documents, the wire authorization, withdrawal authorization, and the signature card used to release those funds.
Please have all of that ready when we meet next Tuesday, sir. Thank you. Let's move. Did you have anything else that you wanted to add to your report?
Only that there's $2.5 million of available cash for accounts payable outside of the CD. So to say that there's no money to pay accounts payable unless you use the CD is not the truth. There's $2.5 million. It's on the very first page, so if you read that, you'll see it.
That we have in our general fund to cover the accounts payable without using our CD.
2.5 on the first page. You should read that.
Okay, so why would you put the CD on here then? In your document? Why would you add the CD in there then?
Okay.
Don't worry,
That
I'll wait.
question has been answered. Anything else, sir? We will move on, and the next report, we'll go with reports of the administrative staff, and now we'll hear from Interim Finance Director Fred McMillan.
Good evening. The prior period finance update. The finance team has completed bank reconciliations for the 2021-2022 fiscal period. These reconciliations are being reviewed and prepared for submission to Baker and Tilly to begin the audit process for this fiscal period. Upon reviewing cash, auditors will begin compiling a list of work papers to be completed by the village. They're called PBCs. PBCs. This would get the next audit on its way. We're kind of excited to have this done. We're reviewing our bank recs, and we hope to submit them to Baker and Tilly on June 12th of this year. Once auditors provide us a list, and PBC stands for Prepared by Client, PBC items, finance team will attempt to pull old documents and run reports from the accounting software to comply with their requests. I know Baker and Tilly told us that they're probably going to give us a disclaimer on this audit as well, but we're going to look and try to fulfill as much of the information so that they can help us get our balances correct. However, the importance of getting the audit completed is that we will have gotten 2 of the 5 non-compliant audits done, and that's the key. That's why we're excited about getting the bank statements. The village is missing out on funding opportunities, compliance requirements, and the ability to provide the board with finance statements. And that is another reason we want to get these delinquencies abated. The finance team is working diligently to move these old fiscal issues forward to alleviate delinquencies and get the village in a position of compliance. Now, I will talk about accounts payable and payroll. You're going to receive, well, you received a very large accounts payable, about 1.7 million. The reason for that is because some of that is from the April 28th presentation. Then we received a $690,000 bill from Iroquois Paving, plus, as the village administrator alluded, we get about $400,000 in expenses each month. Some of that is insurance, some of it is utilities and things of that nature. But a lot of our invoices are old legal bills. And a lot of them, if you look at the AP aging, which was given to you, it's in the accounts payable packet. If you look at the last page of the AP aging, we have $252 million, $252,000. I'm sorry, it's this page.
Give them an opportunity to pull
Okay,
their
I'm
report
sorry.
so that they can follow you, please.
Sure.
Thank you. Does everyone have in front of them the document he's talking about? No, we're talking about the aging report now. We're talking
It'll
about
look
the
like
aging
this.
report, Ms. Trustee Jones, do you have the aging report in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, sir, you may proceed.
Okay, if you look at that aging report, $252,000 is over 121 days past due. And a lot of that is legal expense. And we have a lot of more legal exposure. So my report gives us a way to pay, and I'm just making a recommendation. And I'm recommending that items that the village, which we would consider current items between 0 and 60 days, and they total $742,000. 168,000 of that is 0 to 30 days, taking away the Iroquois paving, and then 31 to 90 days is $229,000. And then the 343 from April 28. If we're going to ask you to approve those payments if you don't approve anything else. But if you approve those payments, I am recommending that the village pay them out of the report tells you how I'm recommending. I don't want to continue and belittle and belabor this process. But my report tells you how I'm recommending we pay those things. And then we can probably get caught up with some of our expenses. If you turn to the last page of my report, it says page 2. If you flip that page over, it'll have a list that looks like this. To lay to rest the concerns of the trustees, the village has $2.5 million to pay the 1.7. It's not advisable that we pay out the whole 1.7 at one time, which is why I made some recommendations. But we are not using the CD. The CD is down in the restricted, and I was wrong in my assessment when I said 1.2 million. It was 1.1 million. It's in that dominant account CN. The reason the money was put into that account is because the CD expired. And like the village administrator alluded, when the bank said that the CD expired, we either take that money in cash and put it in the safe and get no interest, or we leave it safely at the bank. We put it in a dormant account, it's at the bank safe, and we're not to touch it until the board decides what they want to do with that money. And that's not a mayor's decision or the trust or the clerk's decision, who are the two signers on the account. That's a board decision. You guys will make that recommendation and then we will implement it. But we have $2.5 million to pay our expenses. We received some property tax money and we have some water and some sewer funds. So that's why we're asking you to pay our accounts payable. And that's my report. Any questions?
Any questions for the finance director at this time? Hearing none, then we will move on to our police chief, Max Sanders.
That's my report.
Say what? Oh, that's the report.
No, I'm just joking. Hello, Mayor, clerk, trustees, residents, colleagues. This is a report period from April 22nd to May 21st, 2026. what I did different is we had 502 calls for service. And I know you got your package, right? Right?
Yes.
All right, because I mean I've been doing this for a minute. I just want to make sure you got it. We're on the same page. If you look at the second page, it's page 1 and 2. It tells you the actual breakdown of calls that we had, and you go through that. It ranges from 911 hang up, and we got domestic disturbance. The second page would be all the way down for welfare checks. We did some cycle valves. We assisted the fire department a lot too. Well, as much. And then on the other page is like basically it's arrest report. So we had 11 arrests for that period. And doing that, you can actually see the types of call that we potentially had the arrest for. The department had online training, which is crisis intervention team, CIT, and de-escalation. As you know, that the way we are now, that we basically need to do a lot of de-escalation. You have to exercise a lot of patience. So sometimes you may see somebody just overly doing what they have to do, but the biggest thing is to let them, tire themselves off from talking. We participated in the annual Cop on the Rooftop, which actually raised $2,790.72 for the Special Olympics. The torch run will be June 9, 2026. We'll start at 394 and Sauk Trail. We'll take that eastbound to Torrance and then northbound down Torrance to somewhere past Lincoln Highway. It starts at 7 o'clock. If you want to come out and cheer us on, that's good. I'll be out there as much as I can, but other than that, I'm going to be on the bike probably. I definitely want to say thanks to the fire department again coming here. It's a real family. It's a real family environment, and sometimes families don't get along, but you guys really got a great foundation. I'm just hoping that we can keep working together continuously. I actually attended the South Suburban Chiefs of Police's event in Galena. I actually was on the committee. That's where all the Chiefs of Police go every year, and we had training down there. Other than that, that's my report. Do you have any questions or anything like that?
Any questions? Thank you. We'll move on to Fire Chief Pete John.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Clerk, Board of Trustees, and residents. Since our last reporting period, the fire department has responded to 121 calls for service. This included 4 fire calls, 98 EMS calls, 6 motor vehicle crashes, 14 false alarms. We also completed over 120 hours of training during the month of May. This has given our personnel the ability to perform at the highest possible level that they can. Another thing is, as I brought up last week at committee, is we're very excited to announce that Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation has awarded us $38,100 for new extrication equipment, which I see is on the agenda for later this evening. So we're really excited about that. Also pleased to announce that we have a full supply of smoke detectors. So any resident that needs a smoke detector in their house, please give us a call at the fire station, and we'll bring you the smoke detector to your house. We'll even install it for you. With school now out for the summer, we like to remind residents to please be careful when you're driving throughout the village. Children love to play outside, they're riding their bikes, they run into the street without looking, chasing balls or dogs or anything else. So please slow down and use caution, watch out for the children. Let's keep them safe, especially in our residential neighborhoods where the kids congregate and play. And a side note to that is, I also ask the residents, when you see us out on a crash, especially Sauk Trail and 394, slow down. Sometimes I feel it's more dangerous out on a crash than it is inside of a burning building. It shouldn't feel more dangerous standing on a road than in a burning building. And then lastly, we're partnering with the Boys and Girls Club. The nearest one is in Fort Heights, and we are looking to do a June 10th and a June 24th engagement with the kids. We're looking for volunteers for firefighters to come and play basketball and dodgeball for 2 hours on each day with the kids in the community. Really excited to do that, and any firefighters or even police officers that are interested in this, please give me a call. Looking forward again June 10th and June 24th for 2 hours at the Boys and Girls Club. And I'll entertain any questions, Madam Mayor.
any questions for the chief?
Yes, Chief, you said the Boys and Girls Club, where is this located?
It's located in Fort Heights.
In Fort Heights?
Yes,
Where at in Fort Heights?
There's an old school, I don't know the address off the top of my head. There's a closed down school just a block north of Route 30, and the Boys and Girls Club meets there. And that's where we're going to. They have an old gymnasium, and it's a great time to play basketball and dodgeball and let the kids see firefighters and police officers in a setting that they normally wouldn't get to see us in.
So that's June 10th and 24th, right?
Yes, ma'am. From 1 to 3 p.m. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Moving forward, Public Works Director John Conway.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Trustees, Madam Clerk, Department heads, most importantly, the residents of Sauk Village. I do not have a report this evening. It will be submitted for the June meeting for the record.
It will be submitted when?
Submitted for the June meeting for the record.
The end of June? Do we really have to wait that long?
It'll just be for the record. So I had a computer problem at the shop.
So then can you give us a verbal report?
I could go off the top of my head. We had roughly about 12 E-box repairs for water shutoffs. The contractor came in and removed 2 trees that the wind damage did. The crew's been out there picking up branches, filling in potholes. All the village grass has been cut at least once. Should have been cut more, but they've just been out there hustling. I want to thank the crew, thank Mr. Finch for hiring the part-timers. They helped out a lot. So if you guys have any questions, you guys got my email. If you want to talk to me after the meeting, I'm here.
Do you know how much longer that BP project on 223rd is going to last?
I went by there today. They were actually filling in the hole with the hot patch. So it should be opened up probably within the next couple days. I would say by the end of the week.
Fantastic. Thank you to your staff also who assisted with the setup and breakdown of yesterday's event. We appreciate their assistance.
Thank you.
Do we have a report for community development / code enforcement? Are you giving that report, Kathy? Okay, do you have a copy there with you? Fantastic. You're talking to the trustees.
Madam Mayor, trustees, Madam Clerk, Village Administrator, and residents. It has been a challenging year for the Community Development Department as we reestablished in May of 2025. We've set up a new filing system and processing program. We are implementing, and we are still working out the bugs in the new process. During the time frame of June 30th, 2025 to April 30th, 2026, contractor licenses were $54,452. Business licenses were $32,111, totaling $86,563.88. From 6/30/2025 to 4/2026, a total of $969.35 was generated in garage sale and other miscellaneous permits. In the same time frame, Community Development Department has brought in $169,780.17 in building permits. The liquor license fee totals for the same time frame were $12,480. Lastly, inspections of occupancy, rental, and point of sale totals are $50,050 for a total of $319,851.40. We are now in the process of issuing this year's business licenses, and building permits are starting to pick up with the spring and summer starting. Please remember to apply for your permits at least 2 weeks ahead of time. Code enforcement will now be out on the weekends, and that concludes my report. Any questions?
Mayor, I have a question. I'm sorry, did you say the Community Development Department or the Code Enforcement Department?
They're the same department. It's broke down in between, but it's all under community development.
So there's the Code Enforcement and Community Development Department is one department?
And the building department are all in one department.
Is that something new?
No, that's been that way.
I know that Anthony.
Can you get on the mic?
I know that Anthony, Mr. Cooper, used to be the director of the Community Development Department. So that was when I came here in 22, and it wasn't a part of code enforcement. So when did it change?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
He had his own office.
He had his own office, and then some staff worked up front, and the others worked in this office right up front, along with the then code enforcement Janet Uzo, if I'm saying her name correctly. They were all together. She worked under him.
Under the director?
Under Antonio Cooper, yes.
So what falls under the economic development?
It's not economic development. She said community development.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for a very positive report. Can you give us those dollar figures one more time? And you can say that very loud. How much have you guys?
I'm very proud of this. The total for licenses, whether they be contractor or business, were $86,563.88. The total for garage sale and miscellaneous were $969.35. Building permits was $169,788.17. And occupation, rental, and point of sale inspections was $50,050 for a total of $319,851.40. We worked hard.
You do work very hard. And I don't know if you want me to tell other people, but sometimes if I come in here on a Sunday, she will be right at her desk working on a Saturday or a Sunday, and so we do appreciate all that you do as well for us. I have a question.
Is it possible that that can be included in the board report? Because what we got from her, none of those numbers are on the report. Oh, I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
There is Trustee Sterling.
Yes, Kathy, were you able to give that information to Hilda for those two homes? Is one of them that I need, I left a message, I'm not sure if you got the message, the one that's for 1607, but it's really 1609 to 15th Place. And that's the one that has the furniture that's been sitting out there for the past few weeks.
I will make sure tomorrow that I call Republic and find out about it.
Okay, because I think with our conversation, we had talked to the owner himself, and he said he was going to do a call for the boat pickup, but it doesn't take that long for boat pickup.
No, usually when Republic is called, they're out shortly after that.
Okay, and then the other house across the way is 1604 to 15th Place. I see it was boarded up. Have we moved on with, you're trying to find out who the owner is or whatever?
We did board it up, and Hilda is looking into seeing who owns that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on to new business, to financial matters. I have to be honest, I do not know what's being asked in terms of transfers, payroll, accounts payable distribution in the combined amount of what should be in that blank. I'm counting on the financial team. Say it again, please.
Report states 1,797,825 and 20 cents.
I'm not seeing that. Oh, yes, I am. I'm sorry. Okay, I see it. May I have a motion to... After the second. I have to have a motion and a second, then comes questions and debate, okay? Thank you. May I have a motion to approve transfers, payroll, and accounts payable distributions in the combined amount of $1,797,825.20.
It should be 2.4 million because we did not add the 667,000 for payroll. So I apologize. The number should be $2,464,991 and a bit.
May I have let me restate that motion, please. May I have a motion to approve transfers, payroll, and accounts payable distributions in the combined amount of $2,464,991.01. May I have a motion? I have a motion. May I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? Can't hear. It's been moved by Trustee Burns and seconded by Trustee Dr. Winston to approve transfer, payroll, accounts payable distributions in the combined amount of $2,464,991.01. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. That motion carries. Thank you very much, trustees. We're looking at ordinances and resolutions. May I have a motion to approve a resolution think I'm getting feedback on this one. May I have a motion to approve a resolution supporting, approving, and consenting to an application by Los Gonzalez Market LLC for Class 8 designation for 2707 Sauk Trail Road pursuant to the Cook County Real Property Assessment Classification Ordinance.
So moved.
Ooh. I'm sorry, who made the motion? Trustee Johnson made the motion, who seconded? It's been seconded by Trustee Burns. Any questions? Debate? Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, that motion carries. May I have a motion to approve a resolution accepting a grant award from the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation for battery-powered equipment?
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Johnson, seconded by Trustee Jones. Any questions? Hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 That motion carries. May I have a motion to approve the amendment to the value lease agreement for Sharp Copiers?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second? It's been moved and seconded to approve the amendment to the value lease agreement for Sharp Copiers. Any questions? Yes. Trustee Sterling, question?
I have a yes, comment. Before we vote, I want to make a statement for the record, Madam Clerk, regarding this amended Sharp agreement. I want to say that I do appreciate the several protections and revisions that were added to the agreement. Okay. Should I go back? Okay, so I was saying I do appreciate that several protections and revisions were added to the agreement following board discussion and review. I believe it is important that the village continue to strengthen its contract review process in order to better protect the village financially. I also want to specifically address the auto renewal provision that remains in the agreement. While we understand that the agreement has been amended, I believe it is extremely important that the village proactively calendar all deadlines. This is very important because it's so easy for the deadlines to come up and it'll get renewed. And if you're trying to get more, if you want to switch up with the vendor, you won't be able to do it if you don't keep up with the expiration time. So calendar all notice deadlines, expiration dates, and make sure we have procedures in play as far as the equipment returning procedures associated with this contract to ensure the village does not unintentionally renew or extend the agreement without proper review. So for record-keeping purposes, I would like to request that the final, fully executed, amended agreement be provided to the Board of Trustees, properly maintained within the village's records once signed. So we would like to have a copy, email, however you give it to us. We would like to have the final product of that contract, along with, because I know it was an amended part, so I want to be able to see that was signed off on too.
Okay, does the clerk have that?
I got her one too.
Can we give that to her?
Yes. I have without the signature, but I want to have the signed copy.
No.
It
No.
should have been in your packet, no?
I think I just got, I had mine from the email.
Who's this for?
Sharp.
It's for both of you. It's stapled. Okay? I have a copy. Thank you.
I got the one with.
May I have a motion to table 8A? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't want to table. I just wanted to make sure that's on
No, that's
record.
not what I was talking. I had already triggered.
Okay.
May we roll call, please?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion carries. Now may I have a motion to table the renewal of the village's CD pending discussion at the next committee of the whole meeting?
So move.
I have three
second the
people.
motion.
Okay, so who made the motion? Johnson made the motion and Sterling seconded. Questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes.
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 Thank you. The next one, 8B. May I have a motion to accept the recommendation of the evaluation team to appoint Altech to provide IT services to the village of Sauk Village? It's been moved. May I have a second? May I have a second?
I have a question.
You can't ask a question until we have a second. Okay, thank you. May I have a second? Hearing none, that motion fails. Comments from the Board of Trustees, Trustee Burns?
Mayor, we have questions though.
But the motion failed. You have to do a second. We didn't have a second, so we could not move forward. And I can explain that. I can explain myself very well. Thank you very much. That's okay. Trustee Burns, it's disrespect. Trustee Burns, we are on comments of the Board of Trustees.
No comments at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Johnson?
Yes. Mayor, what is this? Do you know the status of my village phone? Because I still have not got it. It's going into 4 months now.
No, I do not know the status of your village phone.
Is there any way we can get a status update about my village phone?
We'll work on that.
How long would that take, Mayor?
I have absolutely no idea how long it will take because it's not as if we go to the store to actually purchase it.
Well, you can't send a representative down there to pick it up. That's how easy it is when it comes to cell phones.
Okay.
It's going into 4 months now.
You asked me a question, right?
Yes.
And I answered your
And
question.
I'm coming back
the
and
only
rebutting
way
this
that
question.
I know how to, so please.
Okay, so
do you have anything else that you would want to say under your comments as a trustee?
So therefore, are you stating to me you don't care that I have not had a
I
village
did not
phone
say that I
for
don't
4
care.
months?
I told you.
You're showing me, and you showing the residents, it's been 4 months. I have no village email. It's been hacked. I have no village phone. I have no village laptop.
You gave your laptop.
I have to ask the clerk for a hard copy of the agenda.
Anything else?
I'm not done yet.
I said anything else.
Yeah, but you always do that to me. Anything else, you don't do that to nobody else up here.
I do.
You
Now,
really don't.
Can we go with anything else? Because we do have to go. Do we have to go into executive? Yeah, it's after 9 o'clock. And
Okay, that's totally fine.
We can do it next
Tuesday. That's totally
do it next
fine.
time. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Trustee Jones.
Yes. I wanted to speak on yesterday, Memorial Day. It was a time to reflect not only on the loss, but the legacy of service, honor, and sacrifice. We remember those who we lost, and we honor all. We celebrated the ones that were still here by giving them their flowers on yesterday, to the great men and women who serve. You guys are truly appreciated. I do want to give an acknowledgement as well to our village clerk. I just want you to know that I appreciate you. We miss our packets. We do. But thank you for continuing to put your position first. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you. Trustee Sterling?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Board, residents. I want to talk about the importance of growth, accountability, and moving forward in a productive and responsible way. As a trustee, I understand that change is not always comfortable. Asking questions, reviewing contracts carefully, discussing finances thoroughly, and requesting clarification are all part of the responsibilities of an elected official. Oversight is not obstruction, and accountability is not division. It is part of good governance. At the same time, I recognize that our residents are tired of conflict, confusion, and what may often describe as business as usual. Residents want stability, they want professionalism, they want communication, organization, and leadership that focuses on solutions and progress for the community, not chaos. We also cannot continue operating in a cycle of constantly pointing fingers, blaming past situations, or attempting to make those asking legitimate questions to appear problematic simply because they're doing their job. Assigning blame alone does not solve financial challenges that we have, improve our services, strengthen the communication, or move this village forward. Real progress requires accountability, collaboration, organization, and a willingness to focus on solutions instead of division. I also believe it is important for every one of our elected officials, administration, and leadership alike to acknowledge and take accountability for the roles that were played in all these situations that have contributed to the mistrust, confusion, and instability within the village. Accountability should not be viewed as punishment. Accountability is part of rebuilding the trust and moving forward responsibly. With so much frustration and mistrust in our community right now, I want residents to understand something very important. Asking questions is not a problem. Asking questions is part of protecting the public interest. Reviewing information, requesting clarification, and making sure decisions are fully understood, responsibilities of the elected officials. And in many situations, not asking questions would be a greater failure. Our residents deserve organized leadership, responsible financial oversight, better communication amongst us, and thoughtful decision making. We do not have to settle for less. We have to think about the confusion, disorder, and the lack of transparency that we are experiencing right now. Moving forward, I believe we must continue to work towards stronger financial processes, clearer communication, better planning, better transparency in how our village is conducted. That includes ensuring contracts are reviewed carefully, financial reports are organized and accurate, and board members are provided with the information necessary for informed decisions on behalf of the residents. But while doing that work, we must also remember why we were elected. We were elected to serve the residents, improve the quality of life in Sauk Village, and help in moving this community together. Again, change requires patience, it requires professionalism, and most importantly, it requires all of us to move beyond politics and focus on what truly benefits our residents. And I have one more other thing. As far as the accounts payable, could we not write in those numbers? It just drives me crazy. Me coming from a I'm in the law areas and writing in things and scratching it out and redacting things, that's not a good look. Then it make us think you're hiding something. So if we can work on that before it gets to the budget, it gets to us. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. And the last thing that you said, I totally agree with. I don't think that there should ever be any cross-outs and strikeovers and write-in. As I said here this evening, it's like I have absolutely no idea what motion I'm supposed to be asking, what I'm asking them to approve, because one thing was on this report, another recommendation was on that report, and then when I look at accounts payable, it says something else, and so I would like to see that fine-tuned as well. Okay? Trustee Dr. Winston.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Board of Trustees, and residents. As a licensed social worker, I am often in my line of work assigned to do therapy for people who come into my organization and seek help with things that may be going on in their life. In a therapy session, it is not time to point fingers. It is not time to talk about who messed up, why they messed up, but yet to come to the room to talk about how do we resolve the conflict. Each and every week we come here, and many of weeks I'm truly appalled by the characteristics that's expressed in this rotunda. It shows lack of character, it shows lack of integrity, and it shows lack of decorum. No one should have to police the board. Our residents come here to hear about what is going on in our village, not to hear the level of disrespect that goes back and forth. It is not about who did what they did. It is about resolving the issue so that we can move on as a village. In the pronoun, them, they, it is not them, they, it is us, it is we. So I'm just asking that when we come onto this rotunda, that we conduct ourselves accordingly. Because I truly believe that that's what our residents would like to see. It is hard for the community to line up when the leaders are not. Thank you.
I truly appreciate your voicing that, because I too believe that a board should be self-regulating, that we don't need an attorney to always be present. I mean, if it's something procedural and legal, most definitely. But some things we don't need an attorney to do. I believe in self-regulation more so than anything. And as leaders of this village, you're called upon. Trustee Sterling did a phenomenal job on her Facebook page earlier today when she laid out all of the responsibilities of the different levels. Even though I've not checked it all to make certain that it is in sync with IML and our state statute, but it was a very, very good effort. And as you were talking earlier, we have to come together, people. We have to come together. We have to be respectful of one another. And we're not always. And I'm just appealing
to each of you to take ownership. I'm asking all of us to take ownership where we may be failing, because we cannot continue on like this for a whole nother year. We really can't. We can't talk over one another. We can't. Regulate yourselves. That's the sign of a true leader. You are trustees. You would regulate your own self. I can't be a referee. I hate having to hit this thing here, the gavel, in order to get your attention. That's not how it should be. Not at all. And I don't want to single anyone out, but I don't like hitting the gavel. I barely like to do it when the motion carries, if you notice. Let's do better. Let's give our residents who come out here, let's give them better. Let us be totally knowledgeable to the greatest degree possible. What is legal, what is not. And let's just do and be the very best that we can be. Keep in mind, the purpose of these meetings, it's not to entertain the residents. It's not to give them something to say and to do. We owe them an obligation, yes we do, to be open and transparent and accountable to them. But when we come to these meetings 4 Tuesdays out of each month, it is to take care of the business of the village. Do we want all of our meetings to last until 10 o'clock? Oh, absolutely not. Because residents work, the staff here, they work, I'm here. We are all obligated to be someplace. So a 10 o'clock meeting is not ideal, but guess what? We are moving forward and we have so much business that needs to be taken care of. And it may not be pleasant for residents, it may not be pleasant for us, but we have to be here to take care of what? The business of the village. So residents can get up and leave whenever they want. Hopefully, our trustees and all of us will never, ever, ever do that again. That we'll be here to the end to take care of our business. And with that said, may I have a motion to adjourn? It's been moved by Trustee Burns. May I have a second?
Second. Johnson.
Seconded by Johnson. All approve? Aye. Any against? Have a very good evening.